你们好, and welcome back to another episode of Ignite Your Power at the Kathy Mou Podcast. Today is such a special episode for me. It's my birthday season or birthday month and my daughter's. She's about to turn 3 and I'm about to turn 37. And yes, I'm going to put it out there. I don't care. And time really goes by so fast. And I can't believe I already have a 3-year-old, and it's the best thing that's ever happened to me, being a mom. That's literally one of my life purposes, I know. And watching her grow, learn, and discover the world around her has been one of the biggest mirrors for my own growth. I've been doing a lot of reflecting lately on life, purpose, motherhood, and just the journey of being, just, yeah, living. It's just a lot. There's a lot going on. And my world is just starting to open up even more, which is crazy. And I wanted to record the solo episode to share what's been on my heart because I've been moving through what I would call a second spiritual awakening. And I know some of you might be like, wait, Kathy, didn't you already go through your awakening? And of course, yes, I did. I thought that was my spiritual awakening of really understanding the world, but no, I'm going to tell you guys, gotta wait for this. But the first awakening was deep and it cracked me open in so many ways through the journey of infertility, IVF, miscarriage, and diving into spirituality for healing. But this one is different. It's just very different. And on this growth of my health journey and just discovering more of who I am as a soul being and more of a spiritual person, which the first awakening did. And it led me into more of my life purpose. And I feel like the more I awaken or the more I'm going through this healing journey, and if you're going through that, you're going to notice this too. You're going to be more awoke and more open-minded. And mind you, this episode, disclaimer, please be open-minded. And I tell you guys this all the time, knowledge is power, and I'm always here to bring as much knowledge or as much awareness or consciousness to you guys as much as possible, so then you can get closer to what the truth is, what your reality or what your soul wanted to really learn and be in this world and not be decepted per se by what our reality has made us believe what they want us to do or be like, which is pretty crazy. But now I feel like my life is blisser, more softer, and it's more expansion and not urgency. And it's more about releasing the ego, tuning into deeper truth, and surrendering to what I don't know. And again, being open-minded. And that's what I want to talk about today, the power of staying open, being curious, and letting yourself explore new perspectives without fear. So let's talk about curiosity. Lately, I've been exploring things that I would have never thought I'd be open to even listening to before. For example, I recently came across someone named Tyler Hansen. He's a flat earther. I don't know if you've ever heard that term, but it's a term I had never heard before. And I've heard of it before where people were like, oh, flat earth, but I never knew anything more than that. I just thought people were crazy. Like, what do you mean flat earth? That's just insane. And like I said, my first immediate reaction was probably like many of you, wait, what? You're crazy. What are you talking about? But instead of shutting it down, I leaned in. I just got curious. I was like, what is this guy all about? What is he talking about? And if you go on Facebook or the internet about this guy, he talks about and proves to you a lot of why he thinks that the earth is actually not round, but it's actually flat. And he gives it to you in a perspective of how our reality may not be our reality, which is pretty crazy. And it's making me think a lot more openly. Do I believe it? I don't know. But do I not believe it? No. I mean, I don't know what to believe at this point, which is pretty crazy. But that's the part of my spiritual growth right now, right? It's to unhook from the need to be right and just sit in the space of wonder and just figuring out the truth for yourself. And what if we stop labeling people as crazy or weird just because they see the world differently than we do? What if part of being empowered is allowing others to think freely and giving ourselves permission to do the same? Just ask those questions and see how that feels for you. And all of us are finding our own truth. What is the truth? But I've been going down a rabbit hole the past 2 weeks when my For You page showed me his stuff. And now it's making me really question certain things, but then it's confirmed a lot of certain things. So, for example, I'm not a very religious person. I grew up being Buddhist, but I've seen and felt certain things that I never could explain. So, and then I've always surrounded myself with kind, loving people who love Jesus Christ and God. And I always associated those people as being religious. And I didn't always like the word religious or religion because I always associated religion as someone enforcing a certain belief on you, which I don't believe in that. I believe that you can believe in whatever you want. So, being a Christian or a Buddhist, exactly, these are all labels that I don't associate myself with at all anymore. I just want to associate myself as I'm a spiritual being and I believe in higher source. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in angels. I believe in Buddhas, right? All things spiritual. I believe in there's demons and fallen angels, all this. I believe in all of it because eventually it all comes and stems from the same thing of spirituality or higher source of whatever you want to call it. And there's always light and there's always darkness. And that I know in this world. And right now, what this flat earther is saying, Tyler Hansen, is saying that we live in a very dark world where Lucifer, the fallen angel, or AKA devil, I don't know, there you gotta go down this rabbit hole. I'm just getting into this, guys. So, again, I'm not a religious person. I didn't grow up reading the Bible, so he will talk about Bible verses and, scripture and history and whatnot, and talk about giants. And I mean, I don't know what to believe anymore, right? Because growing up, we were taught a certain way in a certain system. And like I said before in previous episodes, that Rockefeller developed the school system to make us working bees or to make us in this corporate type of world. And I've always thought of how did that come about? Like our previous ancestors, whatnot, did not have to go through this. And so when Tyler Hansen's explaining the history of this, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, you just got to go check it out. But check out Flat Earther or whatever that term is or anything like that and just look into it. I'm not telling you that you have to believe it or whatnot, but just be open-minded to maybe what you truly believe or what they're feeding us is not the truth. And so I've been having this spiritual awakening. And the crazy part is also that I went for a walk today and I've always had this feeling like I cannot write my book yet. And I know my book is about the BS life. And if you don't know what my concept is, it's not the bullshit, it's the bliss soft life. And it came to me in a download one day when I was drinking coffee and looking out the window. And then I started laughing to myself, like, wow, I am very punny, and my higher self or guides, angels, whatever it may be, knew that. And so now when I went for a walk today, I got the clarity of like, oh my gosh, my book is finally ready to be written down and the concept and the chapters. I know exactly because I was scattered. I was like, there's something missing that I cannot piece or write down. But now I know exactly what the purpose of this book is to tell the truth that we are living in this bullshit type of reality. And we need to add in more of this bliss soft life, not the BS life that we're used to. but this other BS life that I'm discovering that we are seeking our own truth. And what does that look like? That's being kinder, that's being loving, that's being more of a light, getting rid of the darkness, loving yourself. All these things that I always talk about. And man, it ties in perfectly and like why we need to eat healthier, why our physical bodies are so important, how to connect our physical body, our physical form to connect to our higher soul or higher purpose. And that's something that I struggle with for a very long time. And I was like, why can I not receive? Why am I not being this manifester? And you keep hearing these certain terms all the time in the spiritual world, manifesting and receiving, but what does that even mean? How do you put it into practice? Now I've figured out how to put things into practice, putting pieces together. And so pre-order this book or look out for this because I am going to write this all down. And what better clarity to get before my birthday comes, which is on the 27th. And it's just a beautiful discovering and how numerology plays into all of this because also lately I've been seeing so much signs and synchronicities, which is so wild and amazing. And I've been seeing 1111, and when you see 1111, you can manifest, right? That's a time you can manifest. And I've been asking just for clarity. I was like, can you just give me clarity? What does this all mean? And I've just been saying that for the last 2 weeks, every time I see 1111. Finally, I got clarity today. It's it just feels so good to finally get confirmation or to put together pieces that you've been trying to figure out. And I'm that type A. I'm an investigator. I'm always that type of person who has to get proof, right? Like I am pretty much like a scientist. And now I'm like thinking, wow, scientist, is that even real? Like I might sound crazy to you, but it's great to question everything now and just to do your own research and to make sure that that's really what you truly believe or what your intuition is telling you or what your soul is telling you. And this is the power of empowering yourself. This is the power of knowledge. This is the power of you. And I'm going to give you this piece and that piece of advice of being open and aware. And the more open and aware and conscious you are, the more you can be more awakened. And this second spiritual awakening has brought that clarity to me. And yes, it's in the beginning stages of all of this, but at least I'm getting the clarity that I've been wanting and needed, which is so beautiful. And if you feel like you're called to get some clarity, book a one-on-one numerology guidance card reading with me. And we'll unlock certain things or try to figure out what it is to get those answers from higher source angels. And you might be at the place where you're just in this very beginning journey of your spirituality and you can't tap into your powers yet. And by the way, we all have powers. Remember this, we are soul spiritual beings. We all have our powers, but the world we live in right now really tries to suppress us, to try to suppress our powers, to try to take away our power. And I'm here to empower you, to give you the knowledge to help you out wherever you are in your spiritual journey or your awakening journey. And so if you want to book a one-on-one numerology guidance card reading with me, do that to start getting answers. I'll put it in the show notes below. Also, I started something new, guys. This is a one-on-one coaching empowerment session. So it's not therapy per se, but it's a session where you can start tapping into yourself, start healing, start getting rid of you're not going to get rid of your traumas, but start tapping into the traumas so your nervous system can finally calm down. And that's another big piece of the puzzle that I've been trying to figure out is why am I not a good receiver? It's because my body has been in fight and flight mode for so long. My cortisols are pumping, and this is why I'm always sick, and my nervous system is out of whack. It cannot receive because I'm always trying to control. I'm trying to be type A and doing that. Of course, I can't receive. My nervous system is just so shot and crazy. And a part of manifesting and believing and trusting and allowing God and the light and the great work to come to you, to come into you, and to attract that energy is you need to heal your traumas. And this is a thing that everybody has. Everybody will have trauma. As a human body, you will have trauma no matter what. Even though you had the most perfect childhood, you think you will or you do, you will not because you can get it from generations and passed down to you as work. And there's just a lot of trauma that a lot of us need to work through. And so now I have these one-on-one empowerment sessions to help you calm your nervous system, to start healing, to start even tapping into your power and to just heal. And again, reminder, there's nothing wrong with any of us. We are exactly perfect. There's no fixing. We are all amazing individuals, and being weird or different is not scary. It's what makes us unique. It's what makes us different and amazing. And this is why I want to take your power back to find out what you think is weird is actually your power. What is that power, and how can you use that to help others or to find your life purpose or to make that weird thing amazing, like your superpower, and to bring that into you being this amazing person that you already are, but just bring it into the awareness or consciousness. And it's just so crazy that I've had this awareness just within the last couple of weeks, and I just feel calmer, blissful, and I'm not gonna lie, so figuring out like what am I actually believing kind of didn't scare me, but it brought to my attention like, okay, if I'm more light, now I'm gonna attract more darkness, so more demons into my life. I got scared, a little scared about that, but I know that one trick to do is when you have darkness is to call in Jesus Christ to help you or to call in the light or to do mantras. But like my twin said to me, if there's darkness, there is always light, and there is always ways or remedies to get the darkness out of you. And man, that made me feel so good. I was like, that is so true. So don't be afraid because you are light. You will always be pure light from God. And we are a piece of God, guys. Every single one of us is a piece of God. Remember that. So we are light, and if these darkness or dark beings try to get to us, remember you are the light and that you can repel these darkness or the darkness out of you or to not have them around you. So this is why empowering yourself is so important, guys. Protecting yourself, knowing that you're this light being is so important. All right, so how does this relate to personal power and motherhood? So as a mom, this has become even more important to me. My daughter is constantly observing how I react to new information. She watches whether I respond with curiosity or fear. I want to raise a child who feels safe asking questions, challenging norms, and listening to her intuition. And for me to guide her, I have to do that work too. So this second awakening is about rewiring my mind, letting go of programming, and remembering that there's so much we don't know about the world, about energy, about this human experience. So open your mind and look out and look more into what life has to bring you, not just the materialistic things, not Hollywood, not the stars, not what other people have, just you. Focus on you and your life and yourself, and you will feel like it's so overwhelming. And I think that's why a lot of us try to avoid looking at ourselves or going within um, ourselves because we don't want to tap into the traumas or the things we don't like about ourselves because that's what we're taught. So start doing the work. Start just being aware and conscious, and you don't have to do the work by yourself. And remember, guys, hiring somebody to help you with your trauma is needed because yes, you can do a lot of inner work and you can do a lot of this self-help work, but for certain traumas that you carry or have in your body is usually from interactions with other people. So in order to heal that trauma or that thing, you need another person to come and help you with that trauma so you can release that. So some can be by yourself, but some has to be with somebody else to help heal you. So this is why it's so important to pick a good practitioner that you really believe in. Is it maybe a coaching therapist, psychiatrist, like whatever it may be, just find a person that you can truly trust. And hopefully I can be that person for you if you can resonate and feel my energy. And I'm always trying to come from a loving, healing space and not a judgmental place. But again, as a healer and a light worker, I'm always trying to be the best version of myself. But again, I don't know everything, but all I can do is work on myself as much as I can so I can help other people heal as much as they can at their own rate, at their own time. But man, I've been having so much realizations. And the funny thing is, I thought that I had to be this one way. Like I grew up being hot-headed, very A-type, controlling, all these things because I was taught this way. And I was like, there's no way I can change. This is who I am. And most of us think like we don't have the power to change. And I thought that my husband and I's dynamic would never change either. I thought it would be toxic forever. And the crazy part is by just healing myself, by working on myself, by being calmer myself, he felt that energy and now he's getting calmer and more safe to be able to interact with me. And he's not a talker. He's never really talked a lot in his life. And it's so beautiful to finally see. And we've been together for what, 17 years now, maybe 16, 17 years. I don't know. And that this whole time is I never knew him like how he is now. And he's become different, more safe and not more safe, but I think he feels safer to be able to open about deeper things. And it's so beautiful that I give him that space, but it's because I worked on myself in order for him to be able to do that. And so working on myself also has allowed me to be a better mom to Jem. And of course, I still blow up. I'm not perfect, guys. I'm telling you this because we're human and a lot of programming and all this has been stuck in me, but trying to be aware and trying to work through it and trying to get rid of those patterns or behaviors or habits that you have is doable. That's what I'm saying. It's doable. You can change to anything you want to be or do, anything. So if you have the intuition of like, oh, I don't want to be this person that's so stressed and just moody and grumpy anymore. I'm ready to live and be happy and excited to want to live. You can choose that. There is a way. And say, okay, I want to have what, $1 million. Yeah, you can have that. But are you working towards it? Are you taking that action to live that life? You got to reflect. And this is an episode all about reflecting, being open-minded, and truly seeing what your reality is. And now I've opened my eyes even more so. I was like, oh my God, spirituality. But no, now I'm like, what is spirituality to me? And again, I'm not a religious person. I don't believe that you have to be a Christian or whatever it may be. But I do believe in all sorts of deities, whatever it may be, higher source. But I'm not going to label myself anymore. I'm just going to believe in what I believe in and be okay with that. And I don't care if you think I'm crazy. You know what? Great if you think I am. Great if you don't think I am. But that's your opinion. And reflect on if you are getting triggered by what I'm saying. That's something you need to work on and not me, right? So everybody is a reflection of you. And this is what I've noticed too, right? Like my mother-in-law really drives me insane for certain reasons. And she is a reflection of my perfectionism, my calmness that I don't have. And she's so calm, she's so loving, she's so patient. And and she's just so slow. And the thing is, my nervous system is so wrecked that I'm always a doer. I have to do 20 million things. I'm a multitasker. And looking at her, my nervous system is like screaming at me, like, oh my God, she's disrupting your life. She's so slow. All this negative stuff because she's triggering me, not doing it intentionally. And I had to reflect and be like, why, why? And guys, pro tip. Use ChatGPT, not for everything. Don't disclose a lot, okay? Remember, ChatGPT can take your personal information and use it. So just use it with your discretion. But I've used it to help me understand my triggers and why I was triggered. So I used ChatGPT like, why am I triggered in my nervous system? It came up to my nervous system. And when I got that clarity, I'm like, oh my gosh, she is a reflection of why I am so triggered because I am not chill. My nervous system is shot, meaning it's pumping cortisol. I'm on fight and flight 24/7. That is crazy. And so reflecting on that, I was able to have that awareness so I can slowly change and be like, okay, when I'm annoyed with her, it's because it's a me thing. My nervous system thinks that it's being attacked for some reason because she is so calm. And calmness in my world doesn't exist. So whatever doesn't exist in your world, you're going to have a negative connotation to it. Think about that. So whatever it may be for you, start reflecting. So now that I'm a mom, I get to use those things that I've been learning and knowledge and bring it into GEM. And I'm trying as much as possible not to put all of my beliefs and all this whatever into her mind. I just want her to just really follow her intuition and see what the truth is for her and try to not give her as much trauma as much as possible. I mean, that's impossible to not give her trauma at all, but to try not to give her as much as I got, right? Let's be better each generation. So let's talk about some empowerment takeaways. Here are the lessons I've been holding on to lately, and maybe they'll speak to your heart too. Stay soft, not small. You can be gentle and powerful. You can be curious and grounded. And funny thing is, I'm a very short, small person. I'm 4'11", and I've always been self-conscious about that. And now I've noticed being tiny and short is my superpower. It's made me become more vocal and more expressive because I feel like I have to make up for that shortness. So it's like kind of like the Napoleon complex, probably. But I love that about me. And if I was taller, maybe I wouldn't be like the way I am. But there's always a reason for everything. Okay, another takeaway is don't fear what you don't understand. So sometimes the invitation isn't to agree, it's to observe and evolve. So awareness, guys, just be open-minded. And don't be fearful of what you don't understand. And think about it. We don't understand everything. We can never understand everything, but be okay with that too. And again, when you have your birthday, let your birthday be a rebirth. Ask yourself, what beliefs am I shedding? Who am I becoming instead? So another year of reflecting, another year of great gratitude, another year to be grateful for what. And birthdays are great to celebrate. If you don't celebrate them, so be it. I love celebrating it, just not just to celebrate me, but it's just to now I get to celebrate that I birthed a beautiful child on her birthday, but it's a reflection of like, whoa, how did I used to be like this and how am I now? And it's just a beautiful way to just keep growing and to reflect and be more aware and conscious. And last but not least, motherhood is spiritual and we're allowed to awaken again and again, just like our children are discovering everything for the first time. We should do that. We should be open-minded and be like our child, be like children, play, laugh, and be open-minded and trust, follow your intuition. I invite you to take a moment today to reflect. What's something you've been curious about lately? Where have you been judging instead of exploring? And what old belief are you ready to set down? So I know this episode was a lot of information at one time, but I really felt like it was needed and I was really called to do this episode. Okay, reflecting back now, being 37, it's crazy that my childhood has brought a lot of trauma into my life, but now I know the tools that I need to do and have in order to overcome those traumas and to reflect and be able to grow and heal from them. And now I get to bring these tools and heal with Jem. And now I could teach that to her. Not only that, I'm bringing her a whole different perspective. And my life as a young kid was so different than hers, where I had to work at a young age and I was taught like fast is great, multitasking is great. And speaking up was not okay. Now I want her to speak up. Now I want her to be her as much as possible, even though I still get triggered by a lot of things that she does, but I have to be okay with that. And it's just beautiful that I can give her the life that I once wanted as a child. And now she gets to live that. And it's beautiful. Like now she's a little version of me, and I get to navigate and guide her in that direction of what I want for her. But yes, just guide her though. And I love being a mom. I love being her mom. I love how she chose me to be her mom. It's so beautiful. Like, that's one of the greatest gifts I've ever gotten. And I'm ready for a baby number two, whenever that is. I've been asking God or Jesus for it. And the crazy thing is, guys, I don't think I've ever told you these stories, but I've encountered many times with angels, and I think I was with my high school friend or during college days in my 20s. Like, for some reason, she skidded out of control, and then the car went and spun out in the middle of the freeway, and luckily there was not cars coming at that time. For some reason, she stopped right at the side where the cars weren't coming. It was so crazy, but I was in the front seat and I could see like it spinning, but I felt like there was an angel presence there, and it was like so peaceful and calming. I was not scared at all. I knew I was protected that day. And again, I never shared the story, but reflecting now and having this reflection, it's like I've had so many moments where I was protected and had higher source come into my life, which I never knew or could explain. But now, as I'm more awakened, I can understand like I got a guardian angel that was right there with me, and they guided me, and my guardian angel guided me through crazy times in college. Like I did the most poorest decisions ever. And I hate talking about college days because I was just very ashamed. I hated college. I didn't learn a lot about safety and all this stuff because my parents didn't talk about it. They were hush hush about, dating and all that, being in the Asian culture. And so when you're set free into college as a 18-year-old, you want to try everything and do everything. So I was wild in college, but I got it all out of my system in my 20s, and now I get to be in this calmer, softer, blissful lifestyle that I love so much that I don't ever want to take for granted. But man, I was thinking like I put myself in a lot of dumb situations that luckily God saved me or angels saved me and helped me out because, whoa, I can't even imagine. And so my childhood was hard, and then I felt like my 20s was really hard. And when you come out of college, you're always trying to discover yourself and find your first job and be in the workforce because that's what we're taught we need to do and be, and blah blah blah, all that BS. And no, now being in my 30s, I'm still in the BS ness of craziness. The BS, not the BS life, but the bullshit still, and trying to get out of that bullshit life and step into truly the bliss sock life. And it's just beautiful to finally discover that. walking into being 37. And hopefully by each year, I get wiser, more loving, kinder, more patient, and whatever that may be, and look for you. Hopefully, you get that too, whatever clarity you want or you need. But again, thank you for being here. I love each and every single one of you. You guys make my podcast happen. All your love and support make me and continue allow me to do this because if no one listens, then I'm truly, I don't want to say waste my time, I guess, but what's the purpose? What's the point of it? Right? And if I can help one person, that's going to make my life happy. And I truly believe as a healer, as a light worker, this is one of my missions is to bring the truth to you guys. And so this is one way. That's so crazy. But thank you for spending this sacred time with me. It means the world to have a space to share my growth, and I hope this episode helped you feel seen in your own evolution. Whether you're moving through a spiritual awakening, motherhood, or just craving a deeper connection to yourself, remember this: you are not behind, you are not too late, you are right on time. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love if you shared it, tagged me, or leave a review, or book a numerology guidance card reading with me, or like I said, a one-on-one empowerment session with me. If you're looking for insight into your own awakening or journey, or just to get some clarity, I pour my heart into those sessions and in each episode that I do. And I truly hope that you get some clarity or some awakening from this episode. And I'm going to be on vacation when my birthday comes around, so I can't wait for that. And I'm just so blessed to be able to have this platform and to be alive, honestly. So until next time, keep living your BS life, the Bliss Off life. Stay curious, stay grounded, and always ignite your power.